So, what's going on, Gen Chasers and Sluggers? Please let me know if that's like lame. I'm trying to like figure out what to call you guys as far as those who are like watching my channel and stuff like that. And I appreciate everybody who checks me out and stuff like that. I'm just trying to like just figure out things that actually like, you know, sound good, like catchy. Cause like I can't call y'all Libra gang because unfortunately y'all are not Libras like me. You know what I mean? So I can't just do that. And I just want to apologize for not uploading these podcast episodes in the past 2 weeks. It's no good excuse. My guy came over to watch the Super Bowl, and then I just didn't keep up with like things just got busy. But I'm just trying to figure out when is it a good time to upload these. So I will say this: I understand that when I upload these at 7 a.m. Those who work like the morning shifts, the morning drive is perfect for you guys. I love that. However, I think what it is I have to get to a point where I look analytically what makes sense to start uploading these, if that makes sense. So, for example, I want to start trying to upload these. Let's say between 9:30 to 10 a.m. Central Time, and the reason why I have to do that because analytically, it shows that you guys are on, especially like on Mondays, like the earliest is like around 9 o'clock, 9:30. And the goal is to get, sorry if I'm getting these notifications, I literally could have thought I turned this off. The goal is to get as much people watching this when they can. So like, for example, so I'll say this, if you become a member, not that I'm throwing it out there, trust me, I'm not trying, I gotta say it because obviously it's just what I have on the channel to help me and help you guys as well. But if you want to see this early as possible, let's say tonight, right? It's Sunday Central Time, 10:05 p.m. right? So by the time I get done doing this and you guys get it, if you are a member, shout out to Midas, Nell, Bob, and Katana, the three members who would get this early as tonight or early in the morning. So if you guys ever want to check it out, it's only $4.99 a month. You get custom emojis to communicate in the chat, whether I'm live streaming or just past videos. And this is the thing, this is what I like about more than just Twitch, because see, Twitch usually, unless you're gonna watch like a 8-hour 10-hour VOD that eventually gets deleted, you can always use these whenever you want. You can always use these on videos I upload, on live streams, on post, just to like kind of flex it to people. You also get the prestige cats, prestige all the way up to prestige 100, etc. The cat looks pretty much, like it's been in war when it gets like from like a baby, it's like from a kitten to like, I love cats. Gotta get one day. I'm just giving this announcement. I'm going to get into what I want to talk about. So I just kind of want to make things clear that I want to, and I will update this. I want to start basically uploading these from like 9:30 a.m. in the morning. I just think that it helps me see where I get analytically. I just want to do a test to see if people are actually watching these and listening to these a lot more. And that's going to be with all my videos, different days, different time frame, just see analytically what happens. Because the thing about YouTube, what people have to realize is that it doesn't sometimes push videos through or show up or on the feed or whatever. And a lot of content creators have complained about this, and that's a problem. So I don't think it's personal that you guys don't watch the videos or don't like it. I just sometimes think you guys just don't see it, or you don't get them, you don't get the notifications, etc. So I just kind of want to just talk about that. But yeah, without further ado though, let's get into some DBD rage. I got Nia in the studio. I got my boy, Dwight. He's the second. He's the second in command to Nia, of course. And I got the others in just kicking that guy Trapper downstairs. As the security. So you already know how that is. In case somebody got lethal basura out here, you know what I mean. This is episode 37, by the way. And I always say this too. Always listen to these audio wise. I do want this to be a thing. You want to listen to this audio wise because like when I'm at work, I'm listening to podcasts. I got YouTube Premium. I pay $20 a month. It's worth it to me because, when I'm working, washing dishes, I get to just like forget where you are. I don't hate my job. I actually love it. It's smooth. I get to do me. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of grimy work, but I get it done. But it's the fact that like, you know, I have the autonomy to kind of like do how I want to do it. So listen to these while you're on your work, whether you're at the gym, whether you're just chilling, relaxing. My voice is pretty silky smooth, like Twix. I just came up with I just came up with that. I'm too elite with it. I'm sorry. But yeah, other than that, I mean, let's talk about things that are coming up in the DBD community as far as like the quality of life. We're going to get to some DBD rage, posts, etc. I'm pretty sure it's going to talk about the 2v8 and see how people are doing in the 2v8. Let me know if you guys are actually playing the 2v8 or enjoying the 2v8. I actually got tunneled by... Listen, I've never before, prior to going against this Wraith, got tunneled, like specifically. And I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm not trying to gas myself up. I mean, I have over 1,000 videos. Most of them are DBD. It's not just DBD. I wasn't just playing DBD starting out. But I got tunneled out by Wraith. And I don't know how you tunnel someone. I'm not talking about, oh, he chased 6 other people and then he happened to see me after he unhooked. No, I'm talking about like literally it's like he went directly. And I'm not the only one who they're talking about, by the way. Like the other people are complaining that, you know, tunneling is happening in TVA. And I just think that's interesting because the thing is the devs keep trying to put a band-aid over these 2v8 things by, you know, increasing the blood point percentages by 400. That is the most I've ever seen regularly. You know, usually not even our cakes that we would get during the anniversary would be that much. Like think about celebrating a year of success, and it keeps going up, right? It keeps going up. I would say that DBD's anniversary will be its 9th year this year, as I think it came out. DBD came out in 2016. It's 2025, so it would be 9 years, and we would get 109% blood points. And yet, you're meaning to tell me that just trying to queue up the regular game, whether it's Survivor or 2v8 mode, we would get 400% just to participate. That's a problem. The thing that I get, and I just find very interesting, right, is that like, and I watched the director of the community director of DBD. I think that's what he is. He's the chubby guy with the glasses, and no disrespect to him, but that's just like what he looked like. And then like I think the VP executive, they finally got to the point where they're like, okay, well, we got to talk about the quality of life at DBD. We got to focus on the gameplay. We got to focus on, and I actually don't mind talking about that. You know, they're talking about the surrender state. They're talking about, hey, if you're going to, you know, damn near bleed somebody out, let's give it to where people, if 3 survivors on the ground, let's have a surrender state where, hey, we don't have to be in this match all night. See, the thing is, what kills me about people is I don't like engaging in arguments or debates in bad faith, which is why I don't like debate a lot anymore, because as the more intelligent I've gotten in learning about statistics and probability versus possibility, yes, anything is possible, but you never want to lean on that too much because anything can happen, but it doesn't mean it usually happens. Does that make sense? So when I'm talking to killers about like, hey, you know, like, do we have to slug at 4 gens? Do we have to slug at 5 gens? Do we have to bring knockout? Do we have to do these things? And, we'll just bring unbreakable, just bring all of these things. But again, these are the very killers that had no solution or act as if they had no solution when we said, hey, wait out Dead Hard. Hey, use Fearmonger, that became later Mindbreaker, where if the survivor touched the gen, I'm not going to know it completely verbatim, but when you will, like, you know, be doing the generator, let's say hypothetically, right, the strongest exhaust perk is Sprint Burst. That's not hypothetical. That's actually, I think, it's a fact. But let's just say hypothetically, I'm on a gen, right? And I'm on a gen, and I have Dead Heart, though, right? Or I have Sprint Burst, or any exhaust perk. And if I'm on a gen and I even tap it, I get exhausted and I can't use anything until I've had a certain amount of seconds. If you're a killer, you chasing me, you can just chase me off the gen. If you're a one-shot killer and you can hit me, you can literally hit me. So why not just use a perk slot for that? Oh, well, I shouldn't have to do that as a killer. I shouldn't have to use a perk slot all because of a stupid animation. But I shouldn't have to use a perk slot because we have a mechanic in the game an exploit, I would call it, where we can just knock somebody down the ground, and especially it mostly work in solo queue, which you gotta realize most people are queuing up in solo queue, y'all. Not everybody playing and scrimmaging and going and trying to go on a 200 win streak like Eternal, and like not everybody is in that comp stage, and not everybody's there, and that is the problem. We keep trying to go off the minority versus the majority, right? Well, if they can do it, yeah, but these people have been playing, many of them have been playing since the game released, which a lot of y'all have not been playing since. So they have like a bajillion more, they have more hours than I have, and I have 8K, okay? And that's still a lot of hours, and yet at the same time, I don't recommend that you do what I do. Like, I'm not going to ever put you in that mentality of thinking that you can be on my level, with no disrespect intended, if I've been playing this game for almost 5 years now. And even then, you got to understand, there's been people who've been playing a little more than I have been, and they still don't have that kind of hours that I have. Now, it's not a flex. It's not like, oh, wow, I got more. It's just more like, if you have a lot of hours into something and you're dedicated, you tend to know things, you tend to understand certain stuff. So I don't expect a newer player to understand these things. I don't expect a newer player, even at 2K hours, to understand. Like, it took a lot of stuff. I still had to learn like about check spots, understanding about having to play killer on the other side. Like, I think a lot of people don't play killer. You have to play both sides to really feel how imbalanced the game really is. Because when you're playing Survivor and you're queuing up most of the time, let's say you just jump on and play DBD at 4 a.m, most of your buddies are asleep. Okay, you know how disadvantaged it is as Survivor when you play in solo queue and there's no comms, there's no communication. It's like taking a city bus. You don't know who's on there. You just get on. You're all going to the same place, but you still don't know these people. That's literally solo queue. Yeah, as killer, you're just driving in your own car. See, that's a W analogy. I gotta use that because I can just freestyle that. I'm just that great. But the point is that, like, if you don't main one side, though, I will say this, because people oftentimes will say, oh, well, I've played Survivor, I've played Killer, I've played these things. But you don't main those, and that's fine. You don't even play half and half. Maybe you're 80-20, 80% Killer, 80% Survivor, 20% Killer, 20% Survivor. Like, Killer, like, whatever. Like, the point is that you don't do it as often. So you got to kind of understand where we're coming from. Like, if I jump on Killer, right, and I'm Myers, I don't care to win the game. I just want to be spooky. I want to mess around. I don't care if you teabag. There's only a couple times I've tried. I mean, I played Killer a decent amount of time before just to kind of understand what's the fuss about. It was like a few years ago. I'm like, what's the fuss about? Let me learn about Killer. And that's when I started to really understand some of their arguments and some of their viewpoints. But I can't use me as an example because I don't play Killer. I don't have a bajillion hours. Most of my killers have yellow perks. I don't play Killer, but I played an F ton of Survivor. And I understand how many survivors are just like feeling at a disadvantage. And I just think that we're just going in circles at this point. Nobody wants to really hear or listen to each other. Nobody wants to adhere to the data. This is the only thing in game I've ever been a part of where data and stats doesn't matter from anybody. The stats and data means nothing. It means nothing completely. It means nothing, right? If I say, hey, I don't know, let's say hypothetically, I'd be like, man, like Trapper, is pretty decent, hypothetically. And you'd be like, well, no, Trapper's not that decent because it's really good survivors. But it's just like, yeah, but see, in solo queue, though, even if you're a very good survivor, there's call-outs, there's things that you can really utilize to disarm the trap. And I understand that's not fair to Killer, but I just think that even in those cases, most of the time, killers don't get below a 2K. Are you telling me as Killer, if you're in the comments, let me know as Killer, you're telling me that you're 3 people on average are escaping you? Let's say I don't care who you can use Trapper or Billy or Blight, A tier, S tier, F tier, whatever. You're telling me most of the time, if you are a seasoned vet at that most survivors are escaping you. That means at least 3 people or more out. I really, especially if you take pride as a side, I don't think you really want to admit that. Like, most of the time, these survivors know what's likely going to happen is killers will say, oh man, they'll talk about the maps, like the maps or the match, and oh man, all these, BNPs and, you know, OTRs and all this stuff, but they still end up getting like maybe a 2K. And that's, to me, that's like balanced. Okay. Like 2 people escaped, 2 people died. But you got to realize on the survivor side, that person who died probably, you know, you don't know how many times that person have died that day. Like, you don't know how many times that person have died and got camped and tunneled to bloody hell the entire night. But you could have just went on like you could have played 20 games, and on your 19th game, you got at the worst a 2K. Or you finally go against a very good Swift team and you lost a match. Doesn't mean, hey, let's go rework this killer because I finally lost a match, and because you're only comparing it to the very good survivors. So you should see if MMR really worked, y'all should be going against very good survivors if you are a very good killer. Does that make sense? Am I off base? Please let me know. You should really be going against very good teams. That's if I'm playing Madden, if I'm playing NBA 2K, and I'm not playing Park or whatever. Let's just say I'm playing, because Park is like more of a pull-up game. If you don't play NBA 2K, you know, that has the regular exhibition matches where you can just select your team, and you know you can just play, and then there's like, you know, rank, where if you want to play, and then, you know, there's your record, and then let's say, I don't know, if you have a obviously good record, they're going to put you with people with good records. With Park, it has your record, but understand that people can always just pull up, so it's not necessarily matching you with people. It's just people are choosing to play. That's why the same people can keep playing you, and you can be playing against bots all day who are ass, and then you are just winning, and then you're just winning. Versus if you play an exhibition match that's actually ranked, 2K or Madden, they will put you with people who's actually on your level. In DBD, it does not do that. It doesn't do that for the majority. Does that make sense? I think that's the problem. Right? Nia agrees. Dwight agrees, right? They just, I will pass them the mic. That'd be cool if I actually had like an actual, I was trying to download like a Discord. I would love to have like an actual like chat and debate about DBD. I just think that the problem with this is that people would get so like, because I dig podcasts, I love podcasts, but people get so like aggressive, yo. Y'all get so aggressive, bro. Like, I would love to be able to talk about these things. This is, because to me, I like good conversation, good arguments, and it's all a game at the end of the day. That's all that is. It's all a game. I will say this. I love how passionate people get about this game, whether they think it sucks, whether they think it's toxic. People still play it. You can talk about it right now. Like, oh, I hate this game, but if the servers went down right now, I'm talking right now, y'all be all on Twitter just checking. If y'all on PlayStation 4, y'all be like when, like a couple weeks ago when I think the PlayStation Network was down and then people kept trying, I guarantee, because I was definitely one of those people. And I promise you were just thinking, damn, man, maybe getting hooked wasn't so bad. And getting slugged and camped and tunnel, getting beat on hook and dry humped. Maybe that wasn't so bad. Maybe that wasn't so bad being bled. Maybe that's not so bad, my teammate just sitting there not doing gens. Because I don't know what it is about the toxicness about this game, the community, but people still play it. But I think what it is people are coming in and people are coming out. And that's what the devs are trying to say is, listen, let's try to make this game more fun. Let's try to make this game what that is. So let's talk about some things real fast. I kind of want to actually go to... because I already did a video on this, by the way, just to be clear. And I'm only going to read, okay, if I can even find it, holy. Okay, I think that's how many comments I've been getting. Here, I'm just going to type it in. I'm just going to type DBD in. I don't have to look for it too hard. The reason is I just kind of want to, and I even posted on the community, I kind of just want to talk about the, because they've even delayed a lot of stuff like the PTB and stuff like that, which I could care less. I'm not a cross gen. I'm still on PlayStation 4. Have been on it since DBD came out. You know what I mean? But yeah, so they're doing these quality of life. So what they're doing is, it's called, it's going to start, I think, in April to June. That's the first phase, the quality of life, and then gameplay. Gameplay and quality of life is going to be between April 1st and June, and then phase 2, gameplay and quality of life. So it's just going to be more of a continuation through December, right? So let's talk about a little bit. Okay, my bad. Yep, so anti-slugging is what they're going to talk as far as gameplay. They want to tackle that. Surrender option, gamma settings, so that's going to likely be about like, like being able to change your color, I think, or something, just to be able to see. Because that's the one thing about like this game people got to realize too, that's kind of like an unfair advantage, is that like and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. On PC, I see it all the time, but I just want to make sure that that's the gamma settings that they're changing. Is that on PC, you can actually change your filters to where you can actually see better. Now, you got to think if I'm a survivor with you on your team and I'm in a dark map, but you can actually see, like there are maps that I just hate where it's like you're trying to loop and run from the killer, but then you get stuck on a rock and you just couldn't see it. But then the survivor that you're playing against or the killer you're playing against, they can see it because they changed their filters. Like, does that make sense? Clearly, that's a disadvantage. Another thing they're trying to tackle is a big one that a lot of people are going to be excited about is the go next prevention, hiding and body blocking prevention. I think the hiding is going to be people just hiding, not doing anything. Body blocking prevention. Here's the hiding thing too that I don't know if they're going to ever change, and I think I talked about this in the video. If you guys want to actually, well, you can just listen to it here, but the video is actually on the channel about me talking about this very thing, about the quality of life and the gameplay. Is that I don't know if they're going to ever change or fix it. It's like a tech to stop the crows from coming to you. You can just continue to pick up and drop your item, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it, and you won't even get a single crow. So I don't know if they'll ever fix that. Spawn rules and map offering balancing. I've read about that. That's going to be where they're talking about, making it where it's less likely that even if somebody brought that map, they're going to try to have percentages of decreasing it because I get like that they're trying their best. So that's the gameplay. Also the improved AFK boss, which I never thought that was a thing. Then there's the quality of life, bulk blood point spending. So I guess that's just going to be like immediately you can spend them. New quest system, more perk presets, preview your perks in lobby. And it's now phase 2 is going to be anti-slugging, continued improvements. So we're just going to see from that time from the first phase, we're going to see how the second phase is going to be. Then there's the anti-tunneling, anti-camping. I just don't understand how anti-tunneling is going to really change that much. I don't think that killer will stop you. Okay, I don't think you can stop a killer from chasing you. They may throw the game if you're a really good juicer or you just have a good map and that killer's disadvantage. That's really what it is in DBD is you're not just always a juicer or a killer's always bad. So sometimes the map is very strong. Sometimes the map is very weak, and it really depends on the killer. For example, people hate the game. A lot of killers hate the game. Oh, yeah, it's such a boring map. Bring Nurse on that map. Bring Nurse. If you ever see Nurse, bring Gideon. Just DC. It's pointless. If you ever see, first off, you see any killer bring a map, you already know what time it is. If it's Lyris, if it's Midwich, it's the stealth killer, obviously. If it's Gideon, it's Nurse. There's no way it's Gideon and his trapper, but you can clearly see them big ass traps. There's no grass there. There's no way. Listen, if it's Gideon, the game that people love to bring and killers hate, let it be Nurse. Yeah, I guarantee you're DCing because it's pointless. You can see through everything. There's not many range killers should struggle on that map, in my opinion, especially when you can hit over mini loops. Like if you know what you're doing, right? Anti-camping, MMR update, map and key item balancing, which I know the key and the map. So I can talk about the item, the balancing of that. Which here's the thing too, the behavior will also change. I don't think that anybody was ever complaining about. Like they will literally make things that I don't think by and large most people were complaining about, but they will do that for some odd reason. And then quality of life, keyboard and mouse on consoles, which is pretty interesting. I don't think when it comes to Survivor, I keep trying to tell survivors this, and people be like, oh, you on mouse and keyboard, that's what. Like, I'm trying to tell you this now. Only killer, it matters when it comes to mouse and keyboard. Look here. When it comes to Survivor, only thing you're doing fancy other than what I can't do is moonwalk efficiently. Other than that, when it comes to just like chase wise, controller and mouse is really not that much different. Some people even said controller's even better, but who knows? But when it comes to mouse, I can understand mouse and keyboard, because if you're owning, you're trying to curve and flick, it's easier to do on a mouse and keyboard than it is console, right? So certain killers need that. You can become better with that. I think you're limited on. I'm just going off what killers like HexCF said, who used to play DVD. Quality of life, accessible. Okay, so it says custom game improvements, accessibility improvements, prestige rewards, and reduced login steps. Now, here's the thing that's gonna really piss me off about the prestige rewards. And I got time tonight. I ain't gotta work tomorrow. It's gonna piss me off if y'all give us anything for real about that prestige system. It's gonna piss me off. I'm telling you that right now. It's gonna really bother me, because I've grinded like a mug to get to Prestige 100. And I know, yes, I sound like a broken record. I'm about to sound like it again. Let me fix it real fast. If I'm not the first, I am easily the second. But I guarantee I was the first when it comes to hitting it all Prestige solo queue. I said Prestige solo queue. All solo queue. I hit Prestige 100 all solo queue nearly 3 years ago, October 6th, 2022. And I'm telling you this now. 12 to 17 hours a day for 2 months, it changes something in you playing this game. Imagine grinding. And again, I'm trying to tell y'all know, if I've been playing this game, obviously the people who are new, they don't get it, they don't understand it. I understand that. It's different when we didn't have the automatic blood point spending, and you have to go bit by bit to spend them points. And all you hear is ching, ching, ching. I still hear that in my ears. Almost 3 years ago. Almost 3 years later, I still hear it. Getting tunneled, being just Prestige 30, getting tunneled, because that was a new thing. Prestige, like, there was ups and downs. That was good. The thing that I loved about being Prestige 100 early was that people thought I were hacking. People thought I was legendary. People thought, my God, like, that's a Prestige 100. I used to like flex in a lobby and leave and stuff and act like, like, especially when it was TTVs or TTVers, right, as you like to call them. I loved every bit of that, right? I love that people just thought I was like amazing. People thought I was like it, you know what I mean? I get that. I loved every bit that people thought I was like him. But it comes with good and it comes with negativity at the same time. I got tunneled to death. I got tunneled to hell. I got slugged out. People had to prove a point. I got chased every time. And see, here's the thing about legacy players. If you put on legacy, obviously that's like you're trying to get your ass whooped. Like if you put on legacy, you're trying to get your ass beat immediately, because you already know what that attracts. You're putting on the most legendary skin in the game. And the reason, and I have a legendary skin, the white, that PUBG fit, which I'm telling you, that in itself, you can't get that again. I keep saying that, you can't get that. But legacy, nothing ever tops legacy. But having a prestige icon, getting beat, getting 100 and all that stuff, getting like chased, tunneled every single game, teammates not doing anything, bro, it's just hell. And for us to not get anything for that reward at the time, bro, for us to get a bloody portrait, for those who were here at the time, remember the bloody portrait they gave us? So Prestige 100, we didn't get nothing but just getting tunneled. The icon, it says, basically, it was a paper on your head or above your head. It says, tunnel me. That's pretty much what it is. Again, still a hard flex, but that's pretty much what that was. But I want people to understand and remember when we got that bloody prestige, like when we had to get our players to Prestige 3, that was going to automatically bump us to Prestige 9, and that you will have something legendary that people that played after the update only would get later. Dude, what the hell was who cares? Do y'all remember? Do y'all even notice that y'all have a Prestige? See, if you're a legacy player, you know you have legacy. You can always put it on. I have Murder Mill shirt. You can't get that anymore. I have the PUBG skin for Dwight. You can't get that at all. That's not gonna ever come in the Rift. Like, these are partnership with the games. You have to get that. Like, if FNF comes to DVD and they have like that skin, these cosmetics, that's the only time you'll be able to get it. If they got rid of it, they lost a license, or that was the only thing you can get. There was no updates. That's it. You can't get anything else, right? But at least you got something for that. when it comes to like the bloody portraits, that was ass. Y'all know it is, man. Like, I'm sorry. That I'm not even trying to sound grateful, bro, but like, what the hell was that grind about? I even got Bubba to Prestige 3 and got him the peanut. He's the only bloody icon Prestige portrait that I have, because Bubba was my favorite killer at the time. We couldn't get no cool shirts and cosmetic that says, like, we couldn't get nothing cool. We couldn't get us cool Why? Like, if we like skins, why would you not give us that? And now you're going to talk about later? Like, bro, I don't care to even get it, bro. Because I just think that those who got to Prestige 100, I'm not trying to sound like an elitist or whatever, or gatekeeping, but I just think that those who got it later, got it very early, should have definitely gotten something. And now you don't even see your icon. So now that just sucks. Like, I just don't know. Now that just really sucks, bro. That just really sucks. So that's just my whole point to the whole thing. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about a little bit of the 2v8. I'm gonna kind of leave that a bit, because I usually talk about the same thing all the time. But now I kind of want to get into the segment of like the 2v8. It's been 30 minutes anyway, so let's use the next 30 minutes to kind of read some DBD Rage stuff. And again, listen, if you've been here long enough, please like, share, and just share and comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me go. I mean, I want to keep doing these shows. Y'all gotta understand too, like, the thing that motivates me, I love the comments because it's engaging, but the likes, that just, it's not popping, y'all. It's not. Like, what do y'all want me to like say? Like, I think like when I'm at work, I'm always thinking about new video to try to make, to try to help the community, to try to help my community, trying to think. I try to stay consistent. This stuff costs me money. I got my boy Shadow working on the thumbnail for me for my next video tomorrow. It's going to be about how this Freddy just bled all of us out just for Mori to Jeff. Like, he literally just bled us out. Like, he literally... He had to do it. He was at one gen, but then he didn't care the hook. He didn't care any of that. We didn't bring anything special. No boiled over, none of that. He just did what he wanted to do, and that's what they all do, right? And killers do that all the time, but only killers can act the ass. So yeah, so I just kind of want to talk about some stuff that's going on in the DBD Rage. I love talking about DBD Rage. It's over on Reddit. So we'll definitely get into that. Okay. This girl says her name is Lechia. I don't know how you say it. Lechio? I don't know. She said, actually, tunnelers are awful. So we're going to talk about 2v8 a little bit. I'm sure I'm going to come up with some TVD. I just want to read some DBD Rage posts. So she says, actually, tunnelers are awful. And she has the subject under it. Says Survivor Rage. I give my take before I let Nia and Dwight, have their own segment and stuff. Kind of just give my take. She said, I'm not talking about killers who just so happen to come across the same survivor or even chase someone because it's the best play for the match at that moment. I'm talking about the people who will leave injured people or cross an entire map to get you because you got pulled off hook. She has you twice in bold so that you can really feel that she's very upset. She said you have to target over. You said you have to the target over anything else in the game. The people who will literally ignore every survivor who is right there, be them trying to help by body blocking, taking heat off you, or even just there because you need to get you, because they need to get you. Okay. She said, I'm not against some tunneling. Sometimes you need to for pressure, or sometimes it happens, which I agree. I've always said this, like, killers got to do what they got to do. Survivors do need to put on stuff. If you live in a culture, DBD culture that says, killers going to tunnel and you have to adapt. That's just what I say. She says, so I'm not against tunneling. Sometimes you need to for pressure. Sometimes it happens. But people who do this, you are trash. I'm not a fan of going next, but FFS, I think she says, what I don't know what that is. She says, as if slugging against a group of solo players isn't bad enough, people are dead set on ruining the fun of this game because this she said this isn't even a winning strat 90% of the time. This is just someone being toxic and wanting to make someone miserable. So basically what I got from that is just survivors being raged. She's very upset, and I understand. See, in this game, this is what I mean when I say, like, the entitlement comes from the survivor's end, as if killers have to play the way you want, right? So that's what a lot of times survivor. I'm gonna get into like the posts and the commenters and stuff like that, but a lot of times survivors get very entitled, they get very angry, and I understand it because I've been that survivor. I understand like how it goes, but I just look at, and like she said, 90% of the time it's not the winning strategy. It's not. If you're going to tunnel, and that's very interesting thing, I want people to understand that, because I think when someone decides to say, I'm just going to go after one survivor, whether they're a TTVer or a DVDer, right? You know, it's going to be a thing where it's just like, if you just go after somebody just because of their status, the icon, which is why they took off the icon symbol in the first place to your prestige, because on one side, the biggest reason why is that killers just didn't want to queue up, and they affected queue times, because a lot of times killers feel intimidated, especially newer players, thinking that, oh wow, that's a prestige 100. Look what they had to do to get it. They must be really good. But veteran players know that there's nuance to each game, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be juicing all the time, and you might be on a bad map, and etc. So they got rid of it and said, hey, well, we want people to play without being fearful of. We want killers to not be afraid of 4 P100s in the lobby. But then also, killers also will see a prestige 100 in the lobby and say, we'll see a bunch of prestige 1 and 2s and say, hey, let's go ahead and chase that person all day to oblivion, or being a TTVer, not a TTV, a TVDer, a TVTer. But yeah, so it's not a winning strat usually. I think that if a killer was willing to throw the game, they don't care. They just want a reaction. There are people who do it for content. My boy Ghost is hilarious. I like watching Nobody Named Ghost. He don't just do it for salt farming, but he likes to mess around with survivors. But a lot of it is just to kind of see if they take the game seriously and get a reaction. And what's interesting in DBD, I think that people like to watch those content. I like to watch it. It's funny. I see people get rage and get upset. But I think killer mains really love it, because survivors already seem and sound entitled, and that's what it seems to be. Is, hey, why come after me again? But that's just how the DBD game is. There's no real penalty. As if like there's no, like, you can't get banned for tunneling and going against the same person and chasing the same person all the time. You can't get banned from the game. But people will get upset. Like that Wraith in that TV8. Like, he just chased me. That's all he did. Like, he literally just said, I had to prove a point. Like, it's to prove a point. And that's what that is. And obviously I can't bring OTR in 2v8. Yeah, I think you already know that, but I'm sure some killer will make some type of argument that would say, hey, you should have brought OTR in 2v8. We have class. We don't have perks slots. Like, we don't have that. We can't even choose it. But yeah, I think that's just pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna get tunnels. A lot of times killers will do it for pressure, because they're losing gens. They have 1 gen left. They have 2 gens. They gotta try to get the game back in their favor. Maybe trying to hope that if they tunnel somebody and get somebody out, and the worst they could probably do is a 2K. But you know how that goes, right? Okay. Motorbike responds and says, I counted at hunches earlier with the name Guys and Janes equals death. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. And she stuck to her name and tunneled out my friend, who was using a male character, as well as tunneled out the Leon. So that's very interesting, because I gotta realize that I'm a very real person, dude. I don't like to cap on the stack. Like, it ain't just guys who are, misogynist and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people don't even know what that means. I hate when people say, you're so misogynistic. Like, people don't even know what that means. Like, you'll ask a woman, hey, what does misogynistic mean? And they'll be like, they can't even define it. It's a simple contempt or hatred of women. That's what a misogynistic means. But misandrist, which it sound like this person describing, is a person who hates men or contempt for men. So that's what a misandrist is. You really don't hear that a lot. And there's a lot of male killers and survivors that are very toxic in this community. A lot of adults who have children who try to teach their kids not to be toxic themselves, but then they turn around and do it, and they hear their mommy or their daddy screaming and stuff. It's like, yeah, you're kind of setting a bad example, buddy, or chick, But yeah, so apparently they turn it out because they go after Janes and guys, I guess. So that's hate. And then Lichio, I'm just gonna say Lichio because she have TX at the end, but I'm just gonna put Lichio. She said, I think OP stands. I think it stands for original poster. Who knows? She said, I'll never understand these people, and I like. She said, and like I know someone will say she is RPing the huntress who doesn't like men. This isn't an RPG. If you are that bored, move to a different game and take a break. You are just being toxic for your own amusement. And then somebody, Stan Fiction, says, try being a Jill player when it's a Nemesis or a Chris when it's a Wesker. I keep getting subjected to their weird role-playing fantasies. Yeah, that's just, yeah, that has to be weird too. Like, y'all are too freaky in this community, man. It's just like y'all are way too over the top. Now, what do y'all think about that? Y'all way too over the top. And like in this community, if you don't like, you know, fall in line and play around with the killer survivor, they'll team up against you. And it's funny because I get a lot of people who will watch me or they'll comment, but they won't just like, they'll stop through the store, you know, they won't buy anything, they won't become like a regular customer, but like at least they stop by, right? They don't watch my content, but they swear they know everything about me. But they don't watch because if you knew, you would know I'm not an entitled survivor. Anybody who watched me know I be getting on Survivor's ass. I get on their ass. Not ass. When they be selling the game. When they are very entitled. When they think that things are bannable. Like tunneling, camping, slugging. It's not bannable to go after the same person. It's not bannable. But ironically, they will literally do things that are bannable. Like, you know, TOS on Twitch. Saying things, you know, attacking people personally, body blocking, working with the killer. I can't tell how many times somebody opened up the locker and kept tugging on it, which I find very ironic. Because why would you even coming towards the locker? It's not like you saw me. Like, bro, I don't know how many times I don't hit in a locker before somebody even see me go in a locker, and then somehow you don't have Lethal Pursuer last time I checked as Survivor. So like you'll go and check the locker. And then you're upset that I'm in the locker, and then you keep tugging on it though. Like you won't just be like, oh, okay, my bad. Sorry, it's like you trying to use the restroom and like you open the door, you trying to knock on the door, somebody's in the bathroom. Oh, my bad. Sorry, you walk off. Do that as Survivor. Just walk off. Why you keep tugging on it and making it where I can't leave, or you trying to force the killer to see where I'm at? That's what I'm saying. Like I don't see killers. Killers are the ops. So nothing they do is like surprise. Oh, you're tunneling. Oh, okay. What's new? You're slugging. The only thing I'm never surprised on when survivors are complaining about you guys will give up on Hook all the time. You guys are always going next, but I've never seen you on the gen. I'm never surprised on that. I'm never surprised. I'm really never surprised of like the players in this community. But I think it's weird that they do this role playing fantasies and they trying to get freaky, and it's just like y'all just weird, man. Like, some of us just really want to play the game and just, like, you know, get off work, trying to, you know, have a beer, play a game. No, I got to be freaky with you. And none of y'all trying to really slide in real life. You know, do you in a deal? You know what I mean? I'm going to stop. But no, and then, okay, I'm going to kind of scroll. I'm only read, like, a little bit of these, and then I'm going to go to, like, the next post. People want to forget that she's not doing the, oh, no, because he's talking about that. He said, she said, I'll usually pick up the person and hook the first, then go after the person off a hook. And she said, see, that's fine too. I get that. Now, see, again, I just want survivors. I'm gonna leave that one because it's just gonna be like the same thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want people to understand this. Killers gonna play the way they want. Killers gonna play the way they want, bro. There are killers that are so toxic in this game. I had a clown do everything. I feel like it was like a cartel execution on me. I swear he did everything as if I betrayed him in like a drug trade or something. Like he did everything. Like he bled me out. This was during like the winter event. He bled me out. Damn near. No, he didn't even bleed me out because you know he had to get that Morty going. He threw the snowballs. He dry humped me. He acted like he's gonna give me hatch. He closed it. He kept throwing bottle gas, wasting my time. Like, bro, they could do that. Will he ever do that in real life? If he saw me, I think he would be a very good guy, right? Very in person. He would never act the ass like that. Not that I'm ever trying to promote violence, right? But of course, we're far away. He could be in China acting a fool. Like, it's safe for him, right? And that's how a lot of it is. And I'm fine with that too. I'm cool with that, G. Like, I'm cool with that. But I think that that's like really what it is. It's just like we can do what we want to do. And people be like, well, when we have game chat, I just don't think we can have game chat in this game, brother. I just don't think we can have game chat. I just don't think it makes sense. Let me see. This guy named Trash Anon 89 or Trash Anon 089 says, I'm just gonna see if there's many comments left. 8 gens left and everyone died. Okay, his subject says Survivor Rage. I've never seen anything like it. It happened so fast. Were the killers cheating or were they that good? The world may never know. Okay. And then Angry German says, responds, maybe we should change the title of this sub to DBD Shower Thought. What? Okay, no. How fast was it? Okay, so this wasn't even worth it. Okay, I wasted my time. See, the best thing about doing these podcasts is that I can, like, it's not the same as like doing a video where like I don't have to keep recording like 20 times, try to get it right. I can mess up or see something I don't like. I can just freestyle. That's all that is. It's nice to be able to just freestyle, right? Tunneling. Okay, what's new? Here, let me see. It says today of all the days people are playing the harshest. Okay, so this is actually rage. So somebody's very upset. Today's of all the days people are playing the harshest. And then subject says rage. Okay, it says I've had one of the worst weeks of my entire life. All I wanted was a chill, fun Freddy match. Okay, so he's killer clearly. Instead, I got a full Swift hovering around me to stun me at every pickup with 2 flashlights, multiple full meta loadouts, etc. Trash talk me in the in-game chat, with personal attacks and so much more. Then brag about it like it's a grand achievement and I really deserved it. Ashley effing degenerates, get the hell outside. Okay, so let's kind of break things down there. You gotta be new, man. Like, you gotta be new. I know that they're like Swift, Brian, but you have to be. If you keep getting stunned, like, and I don't play killer much, but I've seen it. If you keep getting stunned, you're not looking around. Like, how fast is that survivor gonna get picked up unless they're using for the people FTP? Like, how fast are they gonna get up for you to be like getting stunned and you keep getting hit? That it just sounds like, I'm not trying to like, you know, discredit like how he feels. It just seems like you're just like not aware. Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But okay, let's read the comments. Numerous _ machine _ 498 says, had this happened to me last night as well. In Silver 5, no less, 4 stacking, sabotaging, looping. They got 5,000 hours. You name it too. Like, because people will be like, well, hey, you know, why would you have Lightborn and all this? See, survivors are this is what gets me about survivors who are like very entitled. They get mad when killers bring a Lightborn. Why would you got Lightborn? Because they got flashbang, they trying to blind you, or they got blast mine. But why not? Like, you know, you guys can last minute switch. You guys can do all the things. Why not have that in your repertoire? It makes no sense. You need to have that. Survivors are planning a stack full team. You know, whether it looks obvious or not, you know they're going to try to pull some stuff. Map offerings, all that stuff is going to happen. Again, you got to understand, it's on both sides. Again, I'm a survivor, man, y'all. I'm a survivor, man. And I'm telling you, this is just exactly what it is. You got to just prepare for that. Like, you can't just be like, oh, you know, and again, you just keep being like unaware. But like, yeah, you got to, survivors will last minute switch. And then there's Franklin's. You can use that too. You can knock out the item out the hand. Both sides have to learn. Instead of saying I should not have to do that, you have to adapt. But the only thing that's different is, like, for example, Lightburn seems to work all match. Franklin seems to work all match. Unbreakable does not work all match. If I get knocked down, Slug, you keep trying to suggest, oh, just bring Unbreakable. Well, that doesn't work all match. Oh, bring OTR, but it doesn't work in game. Bring DS, it doesn't work in game. Them nerfing OTR and DS literally ensures, I would say, like a tunnel at the end game. Like, literally, it ensures tunneling and camping, EG. Literally, and you can't tell me different. I promise you, you just cannot. You cannot tell me that it's not the case. All right, let's go and read some more. All right. So that was good advice though by Numerous Machine. And then Daldoria, I thought he said Dodoria, like from DBZ and shit. He says, I don't know, just had a game versus Blight on mid, which first two people hooked, killed themselves insta. Killer let two of us go, which is pretty cool. And then this guy named I Call BS, I ain't gonna say that whole thing. He said the Survivor games haven't been any different. Just face 4 Weskers in a row. Take a guess how those games went. I don't mind Wesker. I mean, I think sometimes his hitbox is a little bit too stupid. I mean, when he first came to the game, his hitbox was kind of ass, but then they made it where it's just too stupid now, where he can damn near hit me through the TV. Like right now, if I was playing against him, he would grab me and slam me against the wall. He would still get his ass beat, but because like I don't think his hands as fast as mine. But I get it. Let's read. So I'm still on Dead by Daylight Rage. I do follow Dead by Daylight. Let me see. Is there like another one? I do follow it. Let's see. Let's actually switch gears. Okay, some of these are not even like. Let me see. It says help. Found my survivor. So yeah, see, some of these are not even like. Yeah, some of these are not even. Some of these are just like memes. Some of these are just kind of like memes. Here's the one meme. It says the Legion in 2v8 mode be like, you get a hit and you get a hit and you get a hit. Everyone gets okay. So it's basically it's kind of boring, but I guess it's talking about how irritating it is to play DBD right now on 2v8 with Legion. Because I haven't played 2v8 like I played 2v8 maybe like twice and I stopped playing it. Okay. Let me see. Person says, his name is Prophet Alex. It says, I just don't care anymore. Okay, it's a survivor shame. All right, so let's read this. It says the average toxic survivors are infinitely worse than the average toxic killers. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Let me read that one more time. It says the average toxic survivors are infinitely worse than the average toxic killers. And I really don't care what anyone says or thinks. Yes. Oh boy, I'm so glad. I don't care if they are, and I assume it's a survivor who probably played both sides of Killer and Survivor. But I'm trying to tell you, bro, I'm a survivor, man. I'm trying to tell you. And I play with one of the most quote-unquote toxic survivors, the most popular, second most popular survivor in the game, which is Nia. I'm telling, and I main her. I'm telling you, there's something about survivors. And then it'd be survivors who be having 2 hours into the game, and they swear they've been playing since Legacy. It's you can't make this shit up. Like you just can't if you wanted to. If I gave you a pen and paper, you couldn't make it up. That bar. I'm just too like the wordplay is just it's immaculate. Okay, let me just finish reading it. It's a whole lot. It says, sure, it's easier to be a toxic killer than a toxic survivor. Way easier, but that's exactly why toxic survivors are the worst. They are happy and willing to go to the maximum possible effort to make you miserable. The average toxic killer resorts to it for the win because they are desperate. It's uncommon that they are actually just out to piss you off and ruin your mood. Not unheard of or even rare, but it's more likely they get desperate than anything else, which is a very good point. Very good point. But the average bullies Swifts actively plan out, try hard, and work as best as they can just to upset and ruin your mood. Toxic killers are just dicks. Toxic survivors are just actively bad people. And there are plenty of comments. Now, before I get to that, here's the thing. The last part, I'm not sure too much if I agree with. If you're going to talk about as far as like the entitlement, I would say survivors are definitely more entitled. And you have more of a chance of them just barking at you in game than the killers because it's only one killer. And then there are like 4 survivors. But yeah, see, notice they say it's Swift and Bully. Like Swift to, they're talking about a 4 stack. Likely, right? They're talking about, and then likely if it's a 4 stack in game, they're likely talking shit. They're likely saying all these things, right? But I just want people and urge people to understand the difference that there are more people playing. There are average people just playing DBD. They just jump on. I was just on DBD and just got off just to go do this podcast. So when we keep just talking, and yes, there are tons of Swifts. I'm not saying that there are not. But Swift is also a 2-man Swift, a 3-man Swift, and then there's 4. But then there's also a lot of people who play solo. And if they're trying to just bully or win the game, I guess they're probably trying to do it. But I do get his point. I think that the survivors are still trying to win, but there are survivors who will throw the game just to mess with the killer. For example, I like to jump in the locker just to scare the killer and use my head on. But I can't tell you how many times I am ratted out by my own teammate. I got teammates trying to body block the locker and open it up back and forth so I can't get out. I can't tell you how many times that happened. Killer would just find me. They'll find me in game, like if I message them GG, they'd be like, yeah, that was funny, whatever. But that's insane. That's insane, but he's very right. I really think survivors are definitely that. All right, so Scary Solution 7134 responds an hour ago, actually. He said, for real, once I got a message from a Billy to stay amazing and beautiful, but when I got a message from a survivor, they said that they'll steal my account for tunneling. Like, what the F? Nothing happened and more. See, yeah, exactly. I don't usually get a lot of salt from Killer as much. I get it from a lot of survivors. Like, just the little things. Oh, my God. The lack of awareness. Skullman 140 says, yeah, even both sides are dicks. Sometimes when a team of survivors are dickheads is way worse than the killer. The killer's kind of expected to be mean for some reason, but when you find a toxic survivor, it really pisses me off more. I haven't seen more. No, I definitely agree with that. And see, a lot of times that because killers just have to win. Bro, I was Bubba. I had to kill a Fung because I had to I was doing a video. I was doing stuff like that. I had to, but I could have, I've let some survivors go. I had a survivor once when I was, I think I told the story before. I had a survivor once. He was, I think he was a Chris Redfield or he was a David. But I remember he was teabag. I was doctor, and I remember he was teabagging on top of a hill where a hatch was. Like, he could have just left, but I had to see him go. Right, I had to. There's no way he was gonna leave. No one's gonna ever believe that he left unless I saw him leave as killer. So I remember he did that. And I remember I did the same thing to a doctor one time. I was teabagging over a hatch in there, and he shocked me to where he had that add-on where, you get into that phase where you have to hit skill checks to get out of it to function. So he closed the hatch on me, and then I died. But see, I did the same thing with him. I closed the hatch on him, right, while he was doing that, and then he tried to run to the door, and then I knocked him down. And then I end up opening the gate. I picked him up. I shook. He did his little wiggling thing, and then I dropped him. And then of course I let him go to prove a point. So I had mercy, and I had no reason to. But see, I'm one of those people where it's like, hey, you know what? Some people deserve a second chance. I don't even say deserve. Some people get second chances. I could have just killed you, right? I mean, you're trying to be a dick, trying to prove a point, right? But I showed you literally if I wanted to, I could have just did that. But I had mercy. So, yeah, there are survivors who do stuff like that all the time. Okay. I'm going to read Night Lords. Sadly, that's what they want the game to be. They would rather watch casual killers get beaten into the floor daily for even daring to play killer before they address how powerful survivors are right now. And it's sad because it just hurts the game more. Because once they let these losers Swift beat and bully all the casual killers from playing, all that's going to be left is the nurses and blights. And then they will complain more, get more base kit buffs, then wonder why no one plays killer anymore. I recommend just playing 2v8 and relax, fam. Then when it leaves, just take a break too, because the game ain't fun for killer right now, and probably won't be fun for a long time. We can just wait for the cope. And again, this is what I'm saying. It's just funny to me when people keep saying like they beat up on the casual. Again, this is why like data is very important and like numbers and like I don't know what's happening to like the notlight.gg website. I've been trying to go to it. I could try to go to it now. I don't think I can go to it though. I think something's happened to it. But I just think it's very interesting. Let me see. Go nightlight.gg. Yeah, I think something happened. Oh, okay. So it is there. It is there. Okay, let me see if I can log in. I don't know what happened to it. Happy New Year recaps. Okay, everything is okay. Everything seems to be back up. I don't know what happened to it. Let's see if I go to killer. Okay, hold on. Sorry for. Okay, so everything is back good. Everything's back good. So I'm looking at it, and this is like from the community. I mean, I'm not sure if this is from like the devs, but this is from like the community. But they still have like pick rates that have like Nightmare is still picked. He's picked at 7.79%, obviously because of the buff and people seem to like him already. And he's an OG player. Right now it still shows the average overall kill rate. I want to say is 56%. And so it's still over like people losing. Like it's still over half. Like that's still 6% over half. So even if it was just 50%, that's still balance. And I think the thing is that like we keep trying to harp on like what happens during the matches. We don't think about like, other stuff like, hey, you're going up in MMR because you're winning, you're a really good killer, or you're camping your way. You're kind of cheesing it a bit. But we don't think about that. No, what we do is we just think about the little bitty things and say, okay, well, you keep saboing the hook. Oh, Dead Hard. Oh, all the med kits, all of this. And you still at the worst case scenario most of the time. I see it all the time. Get it 2K. And listen, this is when killers get 2K even when they get 2Ks when they don't even play sweaty, y'all. So like you can realize and imagine if killers actually wanted to win every single game, they literally just, especially in pub matches, not scrims, not it doesn't count against scrims. No, they was just playing in pub matches. I don't care if it was good killers or bad killers. They could just kill, they can slug. They know a lot of people are gonna try to help their friends. Y'all gotta players that play DBD on average. I think that's the problem. Play this game on average. Like he said, that's why. See, the thing about when killers gonna stop playing the game, MMR. I think they did say they addressed that they're gonna try to fix MMR. Is that like that was a time back because MMR actually was the thing. And see, this is the only game I know where people don't want to compete for real. Y'all swear y'all want to compete. Y'all swear do this thing and then win this game. Like y'all not handling. If this is if you guys are still listening at this point, this probably like the podcast. Why is it keep moving? Cause like he keeps that, and it's like it's. But yeah, no, more actually worked in this game before. It actually was a real thing that it actually worked. The problem is that a lot of killers didn't like going against actual survivors on a consistent basis that weren't bots, that did gens, that didn't give up and go next. But this also was a time where we also didn't have 10 seconds added to the gen. We also didn't have it where bloodlust got increased. We didn't have where it kicks in faster, which means you have to chase the survivor less time to get that rocket shoe on you to be able to catch them. And hit him through the window with that BS hitbox. Like this wasn't that same time, bro. Like they nerfed so much and gutted, bro. And these are like base kit things. Bro. Like forget the perks itself. These are base kit mechanics that they've literally nerfed. And y'all got the nerve to just sit here and just say, killers are getting these nerfs, bro. Look at the killers that they are designing, brother. Think about the killers that they are designing out here. Almost every killer you play against have some kind of anti-loop mechanic. They have some type of thing in their build to make it where, and I'm talking about base kit where it's not that he's anti-loop, but it's more like he has it base kit. He can teleport to when you're healing. So it's like he doesn't even need to have nurses calling or whatever that's called. He just, as a perk, he can just have that. Like these are value. He can see your aura. These are base kit things. And this is why the devs said to themselves, you know what? We got to make it where we're not doing stuff like that because people got to have fun. Because I'm sorry, dude. The fact that we have 400 blood point incentive, 400% blood point, and people still don't want to play, I'm sorry. I got to stop doing that. You cannot buy us. You can't. If we're not having fun, we're not having fun, bro. I don't understand why that's so complicated for the devs to understand that. I mean, I'm happy for them that they're trying to get their games under control because they're like, yo, and you got to think the new players, bro, like I can't imagine trying to play this game. See, if you're new, you probably don't know any different. But you know, I realize you probably get boring. You probably be like, why would I play Survivor if no one's on gens? It seems like we're never gonna escape. It gets boring just trying to be cute with the killer. I want to play and actually try to win, and then you realize even when you try that, it's still it's a ceiling. It's the ceiling. It's not even a ceiling. It's like low to the floor. You're not even gonna get close to the ceiling unless you play with friends all the time, and that means you gotta wait on their time. And let me tell you something about that person said survivors are very worse, and I definitely agree. That's one thing I will say I agree with the recent comment I read. The reason I don't play in Swift because I just can't stand survivors' entitlement, bro. I can't stand them bitching. I can't stand that with their ego. I can't stand that somebody think they better than you. I cannot stand that. I will not tolerate that. I will be slugged in a match to hell and bled out before I ever stick around and play with somebody that is going to be disrespectful, that's going to be rude, that's going to be, I wish I would. I'm not on that. I don't need that. I've played with people before, and I was the new guy. And I'm telling you, man, the way I am now, I'm not going for none of that. I was new. See, I'm a loner in real life, just like I'm a loner on the game. It's no different. So I know exactly how I am. I don't like sugarcoat. I don't need that. In this community, there's just a bunch of egos. People always got to come at you, and they usually be the survivors. I just think killers are the most humbled and most I just really believe that. Killers are always going to have to take it on the chin because they're killers. They can't play anyway unless you are letting them escape, you memeing around, or you don't go after them even though, hey, they got to kill. It'd be the survivors who they could win the game and they'll still find some way. They bark at each other, they rat each other out. I cannot stand survivors in this community. I cannot stand that survivor who think they're nice at the game and they're really not. It's really bothersome to me. So that I agree with. But let me go back to it. TGI Twitch, TCH or something like that says, game's just not fun for either. I'm sorry, he says, game just not fun for either. And I'm tired of pretending it is. It's an eternal tag of war, and no one is ever really winning, which is in fact the problem with the game in its community. Too many one-sided takes because of bad experiences. We need to look at the elephant in the room and not the damn symptoms. Exactly. I definitely agree with that. People try to lie too many times and act like they're having fun. Like, I care about this game. The game got me the partner. I have so many memories in this game, even though I'm not popping and blowing up like that. But it's like I enjoy making these type of discussions. I think these discussions are really good to have. Even just having these talks. But I just don't like the coping. I don't like the lies. I just cannot stand that shit. Like, I just cannot stand that, bruh. Like, y'all have no damn clue, man. Night Lord said, exactly, but sadly people would rather hate on the other side blindly while ignoring their own issues. And behavior doesn't help with their band-aid fixes targeting symptoms instead of the cause. Exactly. TJ says, I'm at the point where I could care less. Bully Swift won't get a reaction from me, and neither will my survivor teammates. Yep. And then Fearing something Calloway says, so a killer can resort to any sort of behavior just for a kill. But when survivors are effing around trying to get as many points as possible, they are labeled more toxic. Maybe it's because all survivors can do is ignore the killer. Survivors are not capable of harming the killer. Would it be less annoying then? Or are you just annoyed that survivors have been able to learn how to play the game for them to get a maximum points? Because what's your fix here? For survivors to not get as many XP and blood points as they can within the game's ability, just accept being killed without messing around because that's more convenient for you. It feels like a cop-out to say killers aren't out here raging and annoying survivors for the hell of it as well, too. Yeah. See, and here's the thing, right? And there's both sides, right? She has a point. There's both sides. There's both sides. Again, I just said there's killer that. The thing that I don't like about survivors is that survivors, like, again, I don't. The thing, okay, the thing I don't like about Killer is that they act like that they don't do that. Like I get the Killer has to be like, because okay, it comes from a point of Killer being misunderstood. Like when people defend Killer and they'll say, "Oh, Killer has to be this way," it comes from a point of they acting as if like Killer has to just be misunderstood. Like, well, Killer has to be this way because of they have to go after somebody, right? Like I don't mean to be a dick, but the Claudette or the whatever that chick name is, I forgot her name. The Sable's hiding, so I have to go after somebody. I'm sorry. And then it's like, see, if you play Killer, you will understand his lore. He's just not the big monster that he is. Like, shut up. There are killers who will literally go after you because you are a TTV and I want to prove a point. There are killers that literally will bleed you out because you looped them for too long. There are killers that will bleed you out because, like they said, that girl who, she's the killer and she hates men and you're a Jane. And if you're a man, I'm going to go after you if you're a Jane. You can be a girl playing a guy, but I'm still go after you. These are pixels. These are not real people. These are not real dates that ghosted you. My God, I'm just on fire today. I'm just on fire today. It's insane. Like, just sit me down, sub me out. Just I'm on fire because I know it's coming from a place of a personal hurt that you hate men. It's coming from a place like you have to been ghosted. You have to been ghosted. They now see women can date outside their leagues too. They don't understand that. Like it's just insane. Like this is why they be getting. You know what I mean? So, but my point is that like. I just don't like. We know that survivors are toxic. I don't like that. We try to pretend like killers aren't toxic. That killers just doing their job. That's the problem. We know survivors are toxic because survivors are gonna say we're just playing a game. We have to do the objective and try to win. Like you guys are filthy gen rushers. Okay, but we have to do the objective. We have to try to escape. We have to try to do what we have to do. It's not personal. We have to. Like I have somewhere to be too. Like I'm trying to hurry me get done with this game because I gotta go to work. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to just meme around all day and do slug races. That's boring. To me, it is. Oh, but then, killer, you're toxic. Yeah, but I gotta kill you. I don't like that. But survivors don't act as if they're not toxic. They just don't care. And they're entitled. Killers try to act as if they're just playing their game. But they don't do things like I'm going to bleed you out and dry hump you while no one's around. It's just us in the match. Pause. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't agree with. That's what I don't mess with. Stop doing that. Stop gaslighting and stop acting as if like we're trying to create this thing here where we just don't like killers and we're thinking we're just misunderstood. You guys do it too, and you guys know it. I've been playing this game for a while. I know what mugs be doing. I know. Now, Striking, or whatever his name is, I'm not even going to try to even read that, says, no, we're not going to start the crocodile tears when they are clearly couldn't even fully read. Op said this happens with killers too, but it's undeniably more likely for you to queue with a toxic Swift than it is to find a killer that stalls the game, stalls the entire game. As you said, survivors do it too, for blood points. Installing actively decreases the amount the killer gets regardless which side is doing it. Points farming for your benefit to the detriment of the killer doesn't make your argument any better, especially when you claim survivors are just utilizing the resources given but proceed to bash killers for the very same thing. Such insane double standards to think ruining someone else's game is fine, but when the killer uses a tactic you don't like slugging or tunneling, you get to scream how toxic it is when it's just and they put the mumble jumble resource of the game to exploit. Huge difference though is that unless it's a 3-gen scenario, you aren't getting locked into a half an hour game. The killer has no means of permanently stalling unless you personally fumble as a team. Worst scenario, you bleed out, which takes 10 minutes at the most, which is insane. Genuinely, go play a simulator farming blood points is the only fun you can possibly have with the game. And there is a very clear difference between being good at looping or flashlight and saving and purely trolling just to rage if you lose or still being toxic after winning. That is a very good point too. A lot of the times, again, no sides wants to try to lose, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I will say that was very toxic when he's talking about the whole 3 gen situation. You know, the issue I had, right, honestly, was with just Skull Merchants. Skull Merchant stalling the game for like damn near, like, I don't know, until like the end game collapse, because that's what's gonna likely happen if the game is taking too long. Where it's like you're trying to stall the game and take it for life and forever just to try to get just to win the game. Killers will find you. They will find you. They will find you. Like if you're hiding all game and they want that 4K, I've played against a Death Slinger. I swear to God, the match took like almost 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I'm 45 minutes. I promise you it did. I think it took 45 because, also that survivor would find me and I would heal them over and over. But mind you, the killer already got a 2K. The killer basically got a 3K. All they got to do is just hook that last survivor. But no, I must find that last survivor. I must find you. And again, I be having like a typical DBD match will take like 15, 20 minutes. So imagine that just being spent on you just looking for the last survivor just to get that 4K. That's insane, man. It just takes so long to get the game over with, bro. You got it. Just get the game over with. You got it, man. You win the game, brother. I just don't have time for all that. Well, listen, I just wanted to do an hour. And I did an hour and 15 minutes. I think this is the longest I've ever done a podcast episode. I do enjoy doing these. I love talking about the DBD verse because these are things that are very interesting to talk about. I think these are very good to talk about. I think it's very fun. I think that people are gonna forever be in this, spin cycle of just trying to balance the game and try to have fun. There's different sides and poses and stuff like that, and I love reading these things. Hope this gets you through the day. Maybe it helps you fall asleep. If you guys are a member, you can get these very early. Maybe in the morning, maybe at night, depending on what time I get done with this. But again, I do want to start making these at around like 9:30 in the morning. And the only way you'll be able to get these very early is whenever I post it, whether it be tonight or early in the morning, but you'll get it first as a member. It's worth it to me, honestly, because I can do these every week. And I just need this better support. I get the likes when I can. Maybe not everybody likes them. Maybe not everybody digs them. And I still will do these. I just had some setbacks. I had a couple of things I had to take care of, and now I'm back on track. So I do want to just do this just to even get my thoughts. At least someone's listening. I know that these are hard to get these because these aren't common. But the more I get people, see, the reason why I want to have the time slot I want to have, and it's 9:30 a.m. Central Time, by the way. The reason why I want to have, when I say 9:30, I want to be clear. These are going to be posted 9:30 a.m. Central Time every Mondays now. Is that the reason why I want to do this? Because again, I just want it to perform the best and the most pop. Even when I post, when it's if you're a member, you will probably get a notification first, or I probably posted it in a community tab, and you guys can check it out. But I want most people who watch these that will be on, I want them to be able to see it. But again, just listen to these. If you have YouTube Premium like me, you can obviously listen to this with the screen locked. You don't have to worry about burning up your battery in your phone or, tapping on another video by mistake. You won't get ads because I got a YouTube Premium. I can afford that and I love it. It's $20 a month. It's worth. For 2 months now, I haven't seen an ad on YouTube. When you just want to listen or watch, listen to music, you ain't got to worry about that. Plus, I'm also on Apple Podcast. So if you guys want to check that out, if you're on Apple Podcast, you can search up the Survive Side Story Podcast. You can check that out. You'll find me on there too. I'm on Spotify and YouTube Music. YouTube Music, if you already have an account on there, you can. I'm not on Apple Music. I think Apple Podcast is very good because it's a podcasting. So, it's hand in hand linked with Spotify for me. So I got it. So whenever I upload on Spotify, it'll automatically be uploaded on Apple Podcasts, if that makes sense. Other than that, man, I'm excited. Well, I ain't gonna say too excited. Well, I'm just curious. I'm not gonna be like giddy about it. DVD is DVD for me at this point. I haven't been too excited about DVD. It's not that I'm tired. It's just more like I just know what it is. I just want to make content and just continue. I do have a video dropping later today. I mean later tomorrow. That's gonna be around maybe noon. So that's when videos perform better, I think. Let's just continue to try it. It's gonna be about slugging, my matches, you know, my experience and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here though, and just enjoy the rest of my night and rest. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of yours. I hope you guys have fun in your matches. I hope you guys, you know, continue to grind and do what you got to do. And enjoy the 2v8 while it's still here. Again, I just haven't played 2v8 in a very long time because I just don't care about playing against Legion. And the rewards is just not that. One thing I will say before I get up out of here, I do not care about any of those charms, and I don't know why they added that. Like, who cares? Like, do y'all really care about charms? Like, not charms, those you know, those banners and those icons. Like, you know, I don't care about that stuff, dude. I don't care about them banners, bro. Cosmetics is the only thing I care about. And we'll see what they do with that prestige system and stuff like that. Like, we'll pretty much see what that is. So, but okay. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay safe out here. If nothing else, be easy.